What's up, family? Supreme peace, blessings, and harmony. I hope everybody is having a good day. I just wanted to hop on here today, and I just wanted to get into the Kyrie Irving situation and the Kanye West situation. Over the last 24 to 48 hours, there's been some very disturbing things been coming out. A disturbing series of events going on with Kyrie Irving, because you know when you talk about the people you can't critique on Earth, you critique every group of people on Earth except these particular people. You can't critique them for some reason. So since he didn't even critique them, Kyrie Irving haven't even critiqued anyone. Kyrie Irving just shared a link to a movie about history, and these people is so have suspended him, and some reports are now saying just as an hour ago that he is suspended indefinitely. So, and that he's not going to be a good fit for the Brooklyn Nets. So we're going to dive into that. What even more disturbing, we also have Kanye West, who shared in a post exchange of text messages between him and another man, saying, and this man is telling Kanye West, "I'll have you institutionalized again." And Kanye West is saying that this man had him institutionalized before. So we're going to have to go ahead and dive into all this stuff, man. There's a lot of deep stuff going on. The earth is waking up. The universe is waking up, y'all. People are waking up. And our people are waking up. So the truth is going to keep coming out more and more. It's not going to stop. They're going to try every way, including genocide, to not have the truth come out, because people have built a lie. People have lied about the world and lied about history in the world for so long that, you know, they don't know how to accept. They don't know how to just come out and say I lied. They're never going to say they lied. They're never going to say they're lying to us about everything. They're never going to go, because once you start unraveling a lie, you be like, it's just not one lie. It's not two lies. It's not three lies. They have lied the whole history of the world. And all this surrounds indigenous people, or the indigenous Negro, or Aboriginal people, or what we call today black people, or what we call ourselves the Naga. All this stuff surrounds us. So it's important for us to dive into all this stuff today. I don't want to make it a long or draw on our show, but I do want to make sure I give you all the breakdown, so y'all will be able to know when you are, so you will be able to know for a fact that what's going on. When somebody says anything about the Kyrie Irving situation, you can know, okay, well, this is what's going on with that breakdown. So we want to go ahead and get the facts. And over here at Perspectives and Objectives, we welcome anybody's opinion. We just try to do it respectfully, or however you want to do it. But your opinion is valued and matter, because the only way we're going to get somewhere is being able to have the conversation. We got to have conversations, and we got to be able to talk to each other. So I want to dive into the information today, and I want us to have this conversation about what's going on with Kyrie Irving. And I want y'all to let me know in the comments what y'all think about the Kyrie Irving situation and how all this is playing out, and what do y'all feel about it, you know, during the video. But right now, go ahead and share this live, like it. If you're watching it later on, go ahead and like and share. It's going to be eventful. It's going to be a lot of good information in it. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so the first thing we want to do, I want to start with this quote here from Malcolm X that says, "The media, the most powerful entity on the earth, they have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent. And that's power, because they control the minds of the masses." This is important before we go into this live today. We're going to say it one more time. The media's most powerful entity, the media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent. And that's power, because they control the minds of the masses. So this is what Malcolm X saying. He was saying back, this was in his, Malcolm X died in the 60s. So he was saying even in the 60s, the media controls the minds of the people. The masses is the people. The media controls the minds of the people. So it's important to know who controls the media and who has their hand in the media, because that's where the power is at. Whoever controls that controls the minds of the masses. They control the media. You know, so he said the media is the most powerful tool on earth. So let's get right into the, let's see. here with our brother Kyrie. Let's get right into it with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is under so much scrutiny right now because he shared a movie that Amazon sells. A movie that's been out. He just shared a link. He just reposted the movie on his Instagram, his personal platform. He reposted the movie on. That's all Kyrie Irving did. I haven't seen anything else beyond that. That's all he did was reposted his Instagram. That's all he did. He reposted a story on his Instagram. I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all that story so you can know what the scrutiny is. So, this is the post that Kyrie Irving shared onto his Instagram. He shared this movie poster. The movie name of the movie is Hebrews to Negroes. Wake up, Black America. He just shared that. It's a movie. It's an actual movie that they sell on Amazon. He just shared it. Is it the fact? And they was on him before anything with they was on him as soon as he shared it. But you see the name of the movie, Hebrews to Negroes. Wake up, Black America. We got to get right to it. This is a war about information. Let's be clear. This is a war about information. This is a war about information. Whatever information is in this movie, I haven't seen the movie myself, but whatever information in this movie, they don't want people to know the information that's in this movie. Hebrews to Negroes. And I can tell you first and foremost, we are the Hebrew people. We are the Hebrew people. That's who we originally was before they enslaved us. When Christopher Columbus came to the shores of America, it happened in the Caribbean islands, which remember the Caribbean islands as an island off the mainland of America. Well, we're at in North America. We're just in the mainland of North America, but America is a continent. We're just in the northern part of the continent of America, and the Caribbean islands is an island chain off this continent. Christopher Columbus came to America, and he knew he was conquering the Hebrew Empire. We're not going to get on to that today because, again, we want to give this information because I want y'all perspective on this. I want y'all, what do y'all think about this? But yeah, Kyrie Irving shared this, Hebrew to Negroes. He shared this at 2:44 p.m. on October 27, 2022. October 28th, 2022, he shared this at 2:44 p.m. A little over 24 hours later, on October 28th at 7:19 p.m., this website, Nets Daily, I think that's how you say his name, Nets responds to Kyrie Irving support anti-Semitic content with condemnation of hate speech. What? So I guess they saying in this documentary it's a hate speech. I haven't seen the documentary to see it, but what you guys have to know, again, this is a war on information. Because what we need to ask the Jews, do you have any connection to the biblical Hebrew people? These people don't have a connection to the biblical Hebrew people. I'm going to tell you that first and foremost because we don't got time to play. They don't have a connection to the biblical Hebrew people. These people is Khazarian Jews and Ashkenazi Jews. And these people practice the religion of Judaism. Being a Jew is the religion of Judaism. In the ancient days, it was other Jews who practiced the religion of Judaism, but by blood and heritage, they were actually Hebrew people and spoke the Hebrew language. These people adopted this. These other people, quote unquote, what they tell you in history have disappeared, and these other people are called the lost tribes of Israel, who the whole Bible surrounds about. And we are Israel. But they're saying they're Israel in this day and age, but we are Israel. We are the Israelites. We're the Israelites, and that's a fact. Like, it's a fact. If you study history, we're the Israelites. And people have to understand this Bible we're talking about. This is a real people in the Bible. The Bible is allegorical. The Bible has a lot of knowledge to it. The Bible has a lot of witchcraft in it because the people in power, the Roman Catholic Church, the Jews who say they are Jews, or who practice the Judaism religion, the Judean religion, because I'm not talking about everybody who practices that religion who happen to be European. I'm talking about these people at the top who rule the world. And these people know who the people are talking about. These people who control the economic system of America. Because they control the banking system. And anything you need through America, you got to go through the banks, which means they lend money to the corporations. So they own the corporations. And they own Hollywood. And they own the media. So they own what you hear and see. So movies, when you don't get an Egyptian movie, you don't get a real Egyptian with Negro features. You don't get that type of movie because these people don't want you to understand that you are the true Egyptians. You are the true Hebrews. You are the first Americans, the real Americans. They don't want you to understand that. So when Kyrie is that's the reason they own his ass. Because that's the reason they own him. Just like when Nick Cannon got up there and said what he said. That's why they're on them. You know, so, yeah, he said, Hebrew to Negroes, wake up, Black America. That's the name of the movie. Posted at 2:44 p.m., October 27th. Again, October 28th, the Nets, the owner of the Nets, responds to Kyrie Irving's support of this anti-Semitic film. He's saying Kyrie is supporting it because Kyrie is sharing it with condemnation of hate speech. Because you sharing history. It might, everything in that documentary, I haven't seen it, they might not agree, but he's sharing history. We are historically the Hebrew people. The Jews, the ancient Jews really existed. They were the arch enemies of the Roman Catholic Church, of the Roman Empire. The Roman Catholic Church didn't even exist back in the 1500 BC and stuff. It wasn't the Roman Catholic Church, it was the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire transformed into the Roman Catholic Church. So when we talk about this Hebrew thing, understand that, and I'm being real with that because we are the Hebrew people. That thing when they're talking about Jesus comes from the Hebrew people, that comes from the thing of that comes from the whole thing of the Bible and these Israelite people who were in America and had empires all throughout the earth, including Africa and Eurasia. That's why they were able to confuse you with this history. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this camera off, y'all, because I'm gonna wait till it die. It's gonna die. My other battery went out, so you know it's cool. But bear with me, we still giving out the information. But so yeah, this is Joseph Tsai. He is the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, and he's a Hong Kong billionaire and businessman. So he's worth $8.1 billion. And he's the one who condemning Kyrie Irving. He the one sent out the condemnation of Kyrie Irving. Basically, he is, what was the headline? He responded, not condemned. Well, he did condemn. He responded with he said Kyrie was doing hate speech. He was condemning him because he said he was doing hate speech because this documentary is supposed to have hate speech in it. So I suggest everybody who's Black, America, you may want to go watch it because when they go through this extent to hide truth, you may want to go watch it. So let's go to the next one. So I want y'all to hear what Kyrie says from his mouth on this situation. I want y'all to hear Kyrie specifically what he is going to say about this particular situation. Because now he done got the backlash again.
Title given to Christ, Philippians 2:11, and my name translates in the Hebrew language as Yahweh.
Again, Kyrie started. He posted this on October 27th at 2:44 p.m. By the next day, October 28th at 7:19 p.m., they was already on him. The owner, Joseph Tsai, is the owner. This Hong Kong billionaire who's not from America, who has no connection probably with Kyrie. Just look at him as a cash cow. You can run and jump high. You can run good and jump high. Stick to basketball. Who don't care about his personal historical, having an opinion on his historical context of America, him being from America, and his people who has been in the Holocaust, who still are in the Holocaust. Forget our people, forget our suffering. Suspend him. Forget what he's saying, because Kyrie still is not being disrespectful. And this, I don't like bullies. You know, he's still not being disrespectful. Let's go and see what Kyrie had to say for himself. After the backlash the next day, a little more than 24 hours, they came like Voltron against him. It's about information, y'all. They don't want information out. And because we're transferring in the world, they're trying to... First, we're transferring in the world because the universe is transforming. First and foremost. The universe transforming. The world is changing because the universe is changing. And all this lies and deceit they've been doing for all these hundreds of years, because they ain't been thousands, it's been 530 years. For all this last 530 years of history they didn't hid since 1492 and the first slave trader Christopher Columbus came over here. All this, it comes to light because ultimately the Most High controls it all. Nature, Yahweh, Allah, Ra. All that goes back to the divine creator and creation of the whole entire universe. Not this universal plane or the earth plane, the physical dimension. Not just that, this whole universal plane. So, my camera just died, y'all. So at the end of the day, we're going to keep going on because I want to show y'all what Kyrie Irving has to say. That was just the intro anyways. We really dive into the information so y'all can go ahead and know, give y'all the intro coming in. Thank y'all for showing up. Peace and blessings. So let's go ahead and dive into what Kyrie had to say about this situation. Now, this is the press conference he's doing for the backlash of his social media posts. Let's go ahead.
And it's a title given to Christ, Philippians 2:11. And my name translates in, and it's a title given to Christ, Philippians 2:11. And my name translates in the Hebrew language as Yahweh. So I went on to Amazon Prime. I was like, let me see if there are any documentaries on Yahweh. So went in the search bar, typed in Yahweh. That came up. Went out and shared it on my platform. That was my night. In terms of the backlash, or what people call it, we're in 2022. History is not supposed to be hidden from anybody. And I'm not a divisive person when it comes to religion. I embrace all walks of life. You see it on all my platforms. I talk to all races, all cultures, all religions. And my response would be, it's not about educating yourself on what Semitism is and what anti-Semitism is. It's really about learning the root words of where these come from and understanding that this is an African heritage that is all.
He dropping some real stuff, y'all. He dropping some deep stuff. You see? I'm going to let him finish saying he just explaining himself. But this is what they don't like, because then he stood 10 toes down. They don't like you to stand 10 toes down. They want you to buck down as they bring the pressure on to you so you can buckle down. It's buck breaking. It's chastising. Listen to how these reporters are talking to him. This is a 30-year-old man. When do you see European or Caucasian people ostracized for their opinion to this nature that they do our brothers and sisters? I'm going to let y'all finish saying what he's saying, but he's a 30-year-old man. Now watch how they talking to this man. This is chastisement. He's not being rude. He's going to explain everything to how everything go. I'm going to let it fly.
Is what anti-Semitism is. It's really about learning the root words of where these come from and understanding that this is an African heritage that is also belonging to the people. Africa is in it, whether we want to dismiss it or not. So the claims of anti-Semitism and who are the original chosen people of God, and we go into these religious conversations and it's a big no-no. I don't live my way like that. I don't live my life that way. I grew up in a melting pot, and I say a melting pot of all races: white, black, red, yellow, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and you can see the way I live my life now. I'm not here to be divisive, so they could push their agenda. I don't want to say they, because I'm not identifying any one group or race of people, but I'm in a unique position to have a level of influence on my community, and what I post does not mean that I support everything that's being said or everything that's being done, or I'm campaigning for anything. All I do is post things for my people in my community and those that it's actually going to impact. Anybody else that has criticism, it obviously wasn't meant for them.
And see, right there, that's what they don't like, but that's a fact. And that's him standing his truth. If you had criticism, it obviously wasn't meant for you. He's saying he posted for his community is educational, because we are the Hebrew people, and that's a fact. And as this keep going on, y'all gonna hear you're gonna find this out more and more, and a lot of people already know. A lot of people know. Lots of people know. But they're going to see, and they cruel people. You got to understand there's a lot of other brothers and sisters who get millions of dollars. Who get millions of dollars because of, to go at people When they send that, they must send an email out. I don't know what they send at. When they say that's gonna be today's episodes, and these brothers and sisters, a lot of these people will tap dance. A lot of these millionaires you think is our people or kinfolk ain't your kinfolk, because they just think that you are a consumer. So they good with them. They good with us not having knowledge and information. They want some of our own brothers and sisters want to keep us dumb, because they can capitalize off of you, and they're gonna kiss their asses because they want the contracts. They want the multi-million-dollar contracts. I'm not hating on nobody getting that. But don't step on your people when it comes to truth, especially in such a dire times when it's inflation, when it's half the neighborhoods in the United States don't even have grocery stores. Don't step on your people. So what he's saying and talking about people, he's not saying it from an ill-hearted place. He didn't share it from it being ill. He didn't share it to offend all these group of people. I'm going to let him finish talking because he's going to explain it himself. That's why we're doing a breakdown like this today.
Hopefully I'm understanding what you said, and I want to make sure I get it right because I don't want to misquote.
I don't expect understanding from a media conglomerate group that sincerely talks about the game of basketball, and then we bring up religion as if it's correlative at times when it's convenient for people to bring it up. So please just be direct with your question, so we can move on from this, and I can talk about the game and go home to my son Elohim and my wife Marlene. Okay.
Am I to take it that this was what you shared was not something that you've even watched? This was you did watch it, or either watch it or read it.
I had a lot of time last year to read a lot, read a whole bunch, good and bad, about the truth of our world.
So then, do you, I guess, understand?
He said I had a whole time last year to read a lot about the truth of our world. This man, he's been awakening. He's understanding. A lot of people that went through this process. These people lying about the world, y'all. They're lying about history. They don't enslave you. They don't keep their foot on the weakest neck. They keep their foot on the most powerful necks. Understand that.
Understand or not understand those that might imply that that work had anti-Semitic leanings in it. Right. I only ask this because the tweet is still up there, so
we're in 2022. It's on Amazon, a public platform. Whether you want to go watch it or not is up to you. There's things being posted every day. I'm no different than the next human being, so don't treat me any different. You guys come in here and make up this powerful influence I have over top of the adultery of, oh, you cannot post that. Why not? Why not?
Let's go back to you guys come in here and make up. Let's go back to what Malcolm X says. The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent. And that's power because they control the minds of the masses. Malcolm X. We'll let him finish talking. And whatever you said right there, they bleeped it out at 310 through 314. They bleeped it out. They didn't want the world to hear that.
I don't hear an uproar of that.
And I doubt if he was cussing or anything because his demeanor been calm. He's not coming out like that. He's not coming out confrontational. He's not coming out ill-spirited. He's not coming off meaning. Y'all tell me. I want y'all to know when y'all watch this in his comments. Do y'all feel that energy? He's coming off mean-spirited? No, he's been a genuine person. So these people are attacking this man for nothing. These people are bullies. So you telling me our people will never be able to ever be liberated because we can't talk about our history? No, we can't fly with that. And they're censoring people. Everybody gets censored. But y'all, this the land of the free. And y'all kick to everybody though across the whole world for democracy. And you censoring people, the people who put our ancestors and us still to this day, they built off our backs, our blood, sweat, and tears, our Holocaust y'all building this nation off of. That ain't right. And he's not even coming off of the energy I'm coming off of. I'm coming off of good positive energy for my people too. But he's coming off like very light. And this is light as well. It's different angles of light. But he's coming off very light, like loving. But they bleeped that out from 310 to 314.
Influence I have over top of the adultery of, oh, you cannot post that. Why not? Why not? here to uproar that. I'm not here to be divisive on what's going on this or that. I'm not comparing Jews to blacks. I'm not comparing white to black. I'm not doing that. That conversation is dismissive, and it constantly revolves around the rhetoric of who are the chosen people of God. And I'm not here to argue over a person or a culture or religion on what they believe. No, this is what is here. It's on a public platform. Did I do anything illegal?
Because he ain't got to argue about because it's just people who exist in nations and true identities of the earth. We are the Hebrew people, North, Central, South America, and as they related to Africa, because we had kingdoms in Africa and all throughout Eurasia too. When you start getting to the Buddhists and the Mayans of East Eurasia, that's when it started getting deep. We lived all across the earth, even in Europe. When you get into the Moors, and we also had African admixtures because of our time within Eurasia. Then a lot of the tribes came back from Eurasia, and the kingdoms that had in Africa came back to America, not through the slave trade, because they were killing and they were taking people's stuff over there. But I'm going to let them finish.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did I do anything illegal? Did I hurt anybody? Did I harm anybody? Am I going out and saying that I hate one specific group of people?
No.
So out of all the judgment that people got from me posting, I just, without talking to me, and then I respect what Joe said, but there has a lot to do with the not ego or pride of how proud I am to be an African heritage, but also to be living as a free black man here in America, knowing the historical complexities for me to get here. So I'm not going to stand down on anything that I believe in. I'm only going to get stronger because I'm not alone. I have a whole army around me.
Kyrie, while we're on the topic of promotion, why did you decide to promote something that Alex Jones said?
That was a few weeks ago. I do not stand with Alex Jones.
And y'all know who Alex Jones. You see how they play this game? Because it's somebody at home, they want to be able to, in the mental manipulation, connect Kyrie Irving with Alex Jones. Again, let's go back to Brother Malcolm. The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent. And that's power, because they control the minds of the masses.
Position, narrative, court case that he had with Sandy Hook, or any of the kids that felt like they had to relive trauma, or parents that had to relive trauma, or to be dismissive to all the lives that were lost during that tragic event. My post was a post from Alex Jones that he did in the early 90s or late 90s about secret societies in America of occults, and it's true. So I wasn't identifying with anything of being a campaignist for Alex Jones or anything. I was just there to post. And it's funny, and it's actually hilarious, because out of all the things I posted that day, that was the one post that everyone chose to see. It just goes back to the way our world is and works. I'm not here to complain about it. I just exist.
And to follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book,
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
You see how, again, what Malcolm said, they're trying to make it seem like this man is promoting the hate for Jews, and he's not saying that. They don't want you to know your history, because they're building their whole foundation. I'll say it. They're building their whole foundation off people assuming that they're the real Hebrew people. That's what this goes back to. Even Kanye, it goes back to him saying we are Jews, which is another sect of Israelites, which are Hebrew people, for people who don't understand, which are the people who the Bible surrounds, which goes back to Egyptians, because Israel is Isis, Ra, El. See, they can't take you there, because they're not relating to saying they're the Egyptians too. They can't take you there. We can. Then we can start relating the Mayans and the Egyptian civilization to determine that Kemet was a Mayan colony. And many European archaeologists are writing about that. See, the truth is going to come out. So meaning Kemet over there in Africa was an American colony, which was built with also the African and the Cushites, Ham and Shem together. Noah, out of Noah, 3 sons.
put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it. Do you see me in front
By
of
putting it out there,
the
people
title?
are going to say that you are
Yeah, I put
promoting.
it out there just like you put things out there, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not
You put
stuff
things out there for a living, right?
Right, but my stuff
Great.
is
So
not
let's move on.
filled
Let's
with
move on.
anti-Semitic
Let's
stuff.
move on. Don't dehumanize me up here.
I'm not doing that.
Another
You're
human
free to
being.
post
I can post whatever I want. So say
what-
that and shut it down and move on to the next question.
But Kyrie, you have to understand that by
I don't have to understand anything from you.
But it's
Nothing.
not me.
Nothing.
By
It's no
posting
people
what
that you're
you
making
did,
up, bro. Move on.
But by posting
Move
what
on.
you
Next
did,
question. Next
anybody
question.
is
You
going
guys
to
have
look
any more
at
questions
it,
for
and
me?
they're going to say,
You guys have any more
does he have
questions? Because this is going to be a
anti-Semitic
clip.
beliefs?
This is going to be a clip that he's going to marvel at. Is this any more questions?
But you're not answering the question.
This is another answering your question. Oh my God! Let's make another Instagram clip so we could be famous again. Next question.
Kyrie, basketball related.
All right, so that was the first news conference that he did. That was the first news conference that Kyrie did regarding this post. Again, I want everybody to know what it's about. It goes back to all he did was share this movie. He shared he didn't even share the movie. He just shared a screenshot of the movie, or I guess he shared a link to the movie to be able to watch it, and it say Hebrews to Negroes. Basically, how we went from Hebrews to Negroes, and the movie say, "Wake up, Black America," because we the real Hebrew people. Our language before this language was Hebrew. And when you start getting to the real Hebrew language, the people who call themselves Jews today don't even speak the real Hebrew language. They speak a version of Hebrew called Yiddish. The true Paleo-Hebrew language, they don't speak that. They're not connected to the ancient biblical people. They are Ashkenazi and Khazar Jews, and they'll tell you that. And many of them who are Jews know that. They know they're not connected with people. They just picked up the religion of Judaism. And they claim on the earth that the real Israelites or the real Hebrew people are lost. Yes, which people who are lost? The people who have been enslaved for 530 years and don't know where we're from. We speak English. We're not from England. We speak English and we're not from England. England is who colonized us. Come on. So, yeah, Kyrie had did that video. He did that a day, I believe, a day after. A few days ago, though, after. So then he did another one where he stood 10 toes down again. I'm going to play that one for you.
All these people. I take my responsibility for posting that. Some things that were questionable in there, untrue. Like I said, and the first time you guys asked me when I was sitting on that stage, I don't believe everything that everybody posts. It's a documentary. So, I take my responsibility.
It seems like Adam Silver wanted to hear the word "I apologize," or in your mind you said, "I didn't mean to cause any harm." Were you apologizing, or did you not apologize?
I didn't mean to cause any harm. I'm not the one that made the documentary.
What are the specific things in the documentary that you don't believe are true?
It's like, that's what I'm saying. The name is the chastising. They try to chastise someone for their own beliefs.
And that you don't believe represent your policy.
I think some of the criticism of the Jewish faith in the community, for sure. Some points made in there that were unfortunate.
Kyrie, are you surprised that you did hurt people?
Surprised that I did hurt people?
Are you surprised that reaction and some of the things that you did hurt people?
Yeah, I think I can ask a better question. It's just, where were you when I was a kid? Figuring out.
Listen to where he go. He said, Kyrie, do you want to apologize for hurting people? And he finna say something real deep. I love what he said right here. Shout out to Kyrie Irving, man. Peace and blessings. May the Most High, the divine creator, keep this man protected. Him and anybody who out here telling the truth. We always talking about celebrities telling the truth. They don't do nothing. Before they can even start telling the truth, and we can start repairing the damage that has been done for the last 530 years in our Holocaust, because we are in a Holocaust. When we out here burying kids, burying men, women, and children, the chaos in our communities, we can't get along. The Planned Parenthood, a production of Margaret Sanger, for them to keep our birth rates down because we are the indigenous Americans, and they don't want us to outnumber them, even though they're on our land. Facts. That's part of the Holocaust. All these things are part of the Holocaust. But listen to what this brother say here. He say really deep.
I think I can ask a better question. It's just, where were you when I was a kid? Figuring out that 300 million of my ancestors are buried in America. Where were you guys asking those same questions when I was a kid learning about the traumatic events of my familial history? and what I'm proud to come from, and why I'm proud to stand here, and why when I repeat myself that I'm not going to stand down, it has nothing to do with dismissing any other race or group of people. I'm just proud of my heritage and what we've been through, and the fact that this has pinned me against the Jewish community, and I'm here answering questions of whether or not I'm sorry or not on something I didn't create, and it was something I shared, and I'm telling everybody I'm taking responsibility, then that's where I sit. So, you know, these same questions that you guys ask, me dealing with it as being a melanated, pigmented person all around the world and dealing with racial biases against my skin color, demeaning me because of my religious beliefs, and I'm still sitting in the seat standing. So I take my full responsibility. Again, I'll repeat it, for posting something on my Instagram or Twitter that may have had some unfortunate falsehoods in it. But I also am a human being that's 30 years old, and I've been growing up in a country that's told me that I wasn't worth anything, and I came from a slave class, and I come from a people that are meant to be treated the way we get treated every day. So I'm not here to compare anyone's atrocities or tragic events that their families have dealt with generations of time. I'm just here to continue to expose things that our world continues to put in darkness. I'm a light. I'm a beacon of light. That's what I'm here to do. You guys ask me questions about basketball, I give you my expert.
See, and why he responded, and he's responding in such an eloquent way, he's telling the truth too. Like our history has been stolen, y'all. Our history has been hidden. He's telling the truth as he responds in this apology. I'm gonna let it finish playing out though.
You guys ask me about other things, I give you my opinion, and it's met with whatever you believe the perception or the deception is. You guys investigate my life every day, and you justify it by serving your own purpose, which I honor. I would like the same respect in return. Figuring out just like anyone else. So please keep that same energy when we're talking about anti-other things. Because just because I post a documentary doesn't mean I'm anti-Semitic, and doesn't mean that I'm automatically standing with everyone that is believing in that. So it's unfortunate timing that we're in, but I'm glad that I could stand on the truth, because I'm not afraid of these mics, these cameras. I used to be looking everyone in the eye and telling them the truth. But I'm proud of who I am. Any label that you put on me, I'm able to dismiss because I study. I know the Oxford Dictionary, you look it up, right? Just one of the biggest mistakes I had in being a kid was not knowing European or Western language until I started looking it up and understanding the definitions and why they say, if you want to trick a black person, put it in a book. I was wondering my whole life why they said that. Now I'm 30 years old and I know reading is a superpower because it helps me understand where I'm going and where I come from. Like a tree with roots.
Kyrie, the documentary listed among falsehoods, it said the Holocaust didn't happen. Do you believe the Holocaust
those falsehoods are unfortunate. And it's not that I don't believe in the Holocaust. I never said that. Never, ever have.
They trying to chastise. This man is a grown man. They trying to chastise this man. It's crazy, though. This is what the media do. Go back to what Malcolm said. The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent. And that's power because they control the minds of the masses. Now, who controls the media? The Jews. They control the media. So you can't say anything about them. So why can't you say anything about them? That should be the question. Why can't everybody be critiqued on earth except them? You can't critique them. Remember, they suspended Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks earlier this year. Because she said the Jews, both Jews were white. The Jews were white too. We're another group of white people, basically. The Holocaust wasn't about racism because it was white on white violence, basically what she said. And they gave her ass 2 weeks. You can't say nothing about them. That's where smoke is fire, y'all. Come on. We gotta, I want y'all to understand that. So, I'm gonna let him finish what he was saying.
Out of my mouth. I never tweeted it. Never liked anything like it. So, the Holocaust in itself is an event that means something to a large group of people that suffered something that could have been avoided. No one said we had to practice racism. No one said we had to treat each other like garbage. No one said that I had to stand here today and understand that many people that come from generations 60 years ago, 40 years ago, enslaved some of my ancestors still, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, and it's still going on. And you guys are asking me, respectfully, to speak on something that was a documentary that I had nothing to do with. I didn't make it. So, just please keep that same energy when you guys are addressing me.
Kyrie, for the record, do you have any anti-Semitic beliefs?
Again,
What he just said, keep that same energy. Keep that same energy about the Black Holocaust, the American Holocaust, the American Indian Holocaust, the American Indigenous Holocaust, which is all the same Holocaust. Our history is under American Indian history. And he knows he's an American Indian. He posted it on his page. He's assimilated the information in a way that people could understand it. Because, you know, a lot of people they already be thinking you crazy when you speak the truth. But it was already prophesized in a lot of ancient books. The people who speak the truth going to be classified as crazy. That just is what it is, though. So I'm going to move past that. He just really basically explains it up. I'm going to let him say his last piece. We got 50 seconds.
I don't know how the label becomes justified because you guys ask me the same questions over and over again. But this is not going to turn into a spin around cycle, questions upon questions. I told you guys how I felt. I respect all walks of life and embrace all walks of life. That's where I sit.
I think what people want to hear, though, is just a yes or no on that question. Yes or no?
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
Kyrie, did you personally meet with the ADL?
I was informed that they wanted to have a meeting, and we handled it.
Created with
So that's the last thing he said. He had to have a meeting with the ADL. He was informed. He was informed probably by this guy right here, Joe Tsai. That because you see, Joe Tsai is the one who condemned him for sharing a documentary about his history. Joe Tsai the one condemned him. So at the end of the day, he then had to meet with the ADL. After the meeting with the ADL, it say this article came out, or articles, or a lot of reports. It say Kyrie Irving made a pledge to donate $500,000 to the Anti-Defamation League, and also the Nets made a pledge to match him with $500,000 to the Anti-Defamation League. So the Jews are about to get $1 million, $500,000 from the Brooklyn Nets, and $500 personally from Kyrie Irving, because he shared a documentary about his history, and they felt it was some inaccurate facts in there. So the next day, you then have Kyrie. He goes and apologizes, and I don't know what he going on behind the scenes. These people, again, you see what they did to Kanye West. So you know, at the end of the day, they will take you for everything they'll try to take you down for everything that you're worth. But they're going to pull through. They're going to push through. It's a different energy. It's a different light on the planet. So they're going to pull it through. They're going to push through. So peace and blessings to Kyrie Irving in this situation. Also Kanye West and any brother and sister out here telling the truth, or any human being out here telling the truth, regardless of race and color, because that's the deception they want you to have. So I want to read you what Kyrie Irving said on his apology the next day. I think this was yesterday, actually. So he stood 10 toes down in his 2 interviews. Then he came with the apology. So this is what he said. While doing research on Yahweh, I posted a documentary that contained some false anti-Semitic statements, narratives, and language that were untrue and offensive to the Jewish race religion. And I take full accountability and responsibility for my actions. I am grateful to have a big platform to share knowledge, and I want to move forward by having an open dialogue to learn more and grow from this. To all Jewish families and communities that are hurt and affected from my post, I am deeply sorry to have caused you pain. I apologize. Oh my God, I ain't mad at Kyrie, but these people acting like they are so, you can't say anything about them, and I don't understand. Our people was whipped, put through, our babies fed to alligators, hung, penises cut off. They poisoned our food. They stole our cells. Henrietta Lacks. Oh my God, we can go down so much. And these people, every time you say something about them, they are playing this pity party. That shit is that is irritating. When you have somebody who's been through something, think about somebody who done went through something, and you have somebody who's, you can't say nothing about them. They planned this party. It's planned it because they planned this because at the end of the day, the root go back to them. A lot of stuff in the world. I'm telling you all that, and that's true. That's facts of what it is. A lot of the root of what happens in the world goes back to them. Again, to all my Jewish families and communities that are hurt and affected from my post, I am deeply sorry to have caused you pain, and I apologize. I initially reacted out of emotion to being unjustly labeled anti-Semitic, instead of focusing on the healing process of my Jewish brothers and sisters that were hurt from the hatred remarks made in the documentary. I want to clarify any confusion on where I stand fighting against anti-Semitism by apologizing for posting the documentary without context and factual explanation outlining the specific beliefs in the documentary I agree with and disagree with. He shouldn't have to go with that. When people can go watch it and have their beliefs and non-beliefs, these people don't want you to talk about them because they know they're lying. They know you might go watch the documentary and you're going to take the facts and you're going to understand that it's a lot of truth in the documentary. I haven't even watched it. But you're probably going to find out it's a lot of truth in that documentary. He follows up and say, I had no intention to disregard any Jewish cultural history, the Holocaust, or perpetuate any hate. And they know he wasn't doing this. They know they light is skating on thin ice. So anybody who talks about the Jews and all the from the music industry, the music, that's what Kanye West really was talking about. The false contracts they have. Let's get into the banking industry, how they control the whole banking industry. And they have denied us many housing loans, many business loans through their business practices, because the Jews owned the money because they owned the trade routes. Remember, they owned the slave trade. They made millions of dollars off we don't know how much they made off the slave trade, really. Not millions. That's low. They own that, and then these people from that owning that, they own corporations and the companies. The plantation was a corporation. These people control all these things, though. They control it all, y'all. These people. So they don't want you to call them out. And when we got enslaved, they took on our history, that they were the divine people. And they changed the history of the earth. Not all Jews, the Jews who specifically rule the world now. And a lot of the Roman Catholic Church is in with this. The Pope, the Roman Catholic Church, many members of the Roman Catholic Church is in with this too. They hiding our history, y'all. So Kyrie and Kanye and people like that come out and saying that they don't want them to talk about that. They don't want them to be on that. Gone with that, basically. Because they're lie skating on thin ice, because at the time, what comes up must comes down. See, we're really living in a universe for real. The world is just, they done created a bubble, a false world inside the universe. The universal knowledge is going to come true. It is what it is. We are the Hebrew people. And we are American as well. We are the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Egyptians. All the Native American Indian tribes. Well, I you tell me, I'm a Cherokee, I'm a Choctaw. All those are the Israelites. From the Mayans to the Egyptians. This is all Israelite. These people who say they are Jews are not Israelites. They are just European people from the Khazarian mountains, and the Khazar Jew, the Khazarian Jews, and the Ashkenazi Jews who from that region in Europe, and was traders and merchants, and now they're taking on that spiritual system and that spiritual tradition. When we really are the true Hebrew people, and our stuff goes back to the Egyptian knowledge, the divine Trinity, Isis, Ra, and El, or the divine mother, the divine father, and the divine solar child, as above, so below, talking about the heavens and us on earth. So it's easy to understand, but it'll just take time for us to understand it. But they don't have no connection to that. They're not claiming to be any of that. They're not claiming to be any of that at all. So then we go here. He was like, I am learning from this unfortunate event, and we can find understanding between us all. I am no different than any other being. I am a seeker of truth and knowledge. I know who I am, Kyrie. So they must force this man to apologize. This is what they call book breaking. They trying to break you down. They just tried to break the brother down. That's all that is, though. Kyrie know what he was saying, though. These people just didn't want him to post this because they already got heat. Kanye West just came out not even a week ago talking about all this stuff. Then Kyrie coming with it. Then it's a whole group of many of our people just right in the ghettos, the suburbs, wherever you may be, peace and blessings to you. But many of our people are waking up to it. So they're lie skating on thin ice. People finding pyramids in America. There are pyramids all throughout North, Central, South America. Because America was the Hebrew Empire, where the Hebrew Empire had kingdoms, because it's an empire in Africa and Eurasia. So when you're hearing Moors, remember Moors is still a Hebrew religion, because Islam is part of the Judeo-Christian religions. We're sitting around the Hebrew people. So even you talking about the Moors and Islam, you're still talking about Hebrew, the ancient Hebrews. Not all these people, the Moors, the Israelites, has disappeared, and we're sitting in America with no history. Think about it, people. We the Hebrew people. So after he apologized. So then now after he apologized, today we get Ness suspended Kyrie Irving indefinitely after anti-Semitic movie post. So after he posted the movie and he stood 10 toes down, he pledged $500,000 to the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. It's an organization where you can't talk about the Jews, or the ADL gonna see you, or they'll put you on like this list that they got Louis Farrakhan and them on. So you can't talk about the Jews. Where smoke is fire. Remember that, y'all. So so they suspend him indefinitely. They were just gonna do it for 5 games, but it looked like now the Nets suspend him for a minimum of 5 games. So it may go over 5 games. So it's really indefinitely now today. And so again, Nets suspend Kyrie Irving for 5 games minimum, for at least 5 games. They messing with this man money. They economically castrating him. He's a grown man. Kyrie was not hateful. He wasn't out even saying it in hateful energy. He didn't share it. They don't want you to have the information, y'all. We got to wake up and pay attention to this. They don't want you to have the information at all. You know, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. You can't even speak and talk. So, all right. So they suspend him indefinitely. And then, this is another thing we got to pay attention to. Remember, who controls the media? Who controls the money? Who's giving all our brothers and sisters, our melanated brothers and sisters, this money for these $1 million contracts? Letting them into the business world. Some of these people is not going to go against, they're not going to go against these people. They're not going to speak out against, because they make millions of dollars off of it. The money is worth more. So if these people have to frame a narrative, like, if I'm just watching ESPN and I haven't went ahead and did my research, I'm going to believe what Shaq is talking about right here. So I'm going to play what Shaq had to say.
You know, the game that we used to love and we promote, it brings people together. And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done. You know. He
called this man an idiot. Kyrie Irving was not rude. Kyrie Irving spoke with love. He stood 10 toes down. He was not aggressive. He was not angry. He called this man an idiot. See, they have an agenda to do. I'm going to play it out so y'all can listen to it.
I stand for equality of all people. I've always been like that. Don't matter what religion, no matter where you're from. I can say shalom, salam alaikum, ni hao, sebon, because that's how I was raised. So I don't really want to sit up here and answer questions for what he's done. You know, if you're looking at me, it's my job to make people happy. I can't speak for him and, you know, answer for you know, what he's doing. It's obviously by his answers and the way he answers, he doesn't really care. You know, the game that we...
So then their job is to play for the other blacks, so it can seem like, oh, Kyrie did something wrong. Kyrie haven't done anything wrong, so we got to tell the truth. And Shaq and them has a job. They have an agenda and a job to do. Trust me, they're not going to lose their contract. Some people not going to lose the money. Like, salute you all the success Shaq and them have done and things they have done on this earth. But you got to understand, some of these people will fight tooth and nail for these people, because at the same time, they don't care about kids getting shot down and the destructive music and that these people control the world, because they got a piece of the pie. They don't care about our history. You know, Kyrie Irving, if that's something he's passionate about and he want to teach about, he can. But y'all going to see as time go by, because I'm telling you, in this decade, these people in power have the plans. They plan it out. Now, we are protected. You just got to stay enlightened and stay aligned and stay true to yourself and knowing the truth. But at the same time, these people in power have plans for our people. Understand that. So, gonna skip over that because I want to get into this Kanye West stuff before I get off here today, and we gonna come back on some stuff I can't get everything into on this episode, but we gonna piggyback and get on another episode. But I really want to get into this Kanye West stuff today. We might do a part 2 early tomorrow on this episode. Let me see here. All right, here. Oh, well, the last thing I'm going to say about Kyrie Irving is this. I looked up and as I was researching to do this particular live, I seen the New York Post posted like some articles. The article was like, what Kyrie Irving saw when he watched that movie. And I guess this article was made November 1st, 2022 at 7:40 a.m. They won't let you see this article unless the New York Post won't let you see the article unless you subscribed or have an account. And I don't have one, and I didn't sign up for one. But I seen the pictures of the screenshots that they were saying I don't know if it was in a movie, but this was the New York Times that stated was in an article. So I guess in that movie they didn't want. I guess the movie is stating this per the New York Times. I guess they saying that the Jews have established 5 major falsehoods which work to conceal their nature and protect their status and power. To wit, the Jews are Israelites and thus God's chosen people. So the Jews are telling people that they are Israelites. I guess in that documentary, the New York Post is saying that's in the documentary. That's what's the anti-Semitism. That the people in the movie saying that's a falsehood. Because the Jews are Israelites and thus God's chosen people. Well, they're not the Israelites. They are just people who practice the religion of Judaism, who adopted the Hebrew, a sect of the Hebrew language, which is Yiddish. They don't speak Hebrew; they speak Yiddish. They don't speak the real ancient Hebrew. They're not the Hebrew people. They'll admit it to you. They're not the Hebrew people. They want you to assume that. Number 2, Jesus Christ was a Jew. Number 3, that 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust. So I guess that's what the movie was in there that they mad about. But let me go ahead and fast forward to this Kanye stuff so we don't get too convoluted. So, Kanye West took to his Instagram, and this is Kanye West's real Instagram. I'm going to show you before we do it. Not Instagram, Twitter. Yay, at Kanye West, 31.8 million followers. This is his real thing, and he posted this. He posted a series of text messages which are very concerning. And I told y'all these people control the world. And there's some deep shit they got going on. For real with the world and these celebrities. When you signing these contracts and our people get into these things, these different with these different business people, again, understand. The Jews control Hollywood. They control what you hear and see. So this was just concerning to me. And this should be concerning to anybody. So Kanye West posted on his Twitter, I believe this was yesterday, a series of text messages between him and a guy named Harley. This is Harley. Let me get a picture of Harley. I know I had got one. This is Harley right here. Let's bring him down here so we can. Right there. Yep, this is Harley. And according to Wikipedia, Harley Samuel Pasternak is a Canadian personal trainer, motivational speaker, author, and television host. So that's who he is. So he was texting Kanye West. I believe he is of the Jewish religion as well. So with that, the text is Kanye West posted on Twitter what he was texting him. Let me go to the big major one. And this is what he texts Kanye West right here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this so y'all can see it better. So Harley texts him, your origin might be Jewish. Such and such and such. He got that blocked out. It's about something and her mother. So he's really already coming off condescending to Kanye West. You could tell by that. But Kanye West twisting this. That he's showing in this point that he's admitting. Your origins might be Jewish. Which they really mean Israelite. Israel. Your origin really might. Because they're not Israel. And the real Jewish people are from the Israelite tribes. Which is Isis Rael, which comes out of Egypt. Which goes back all the way to the Mayans. A colony of the Mayans in Africa. It take a lot of books to get the history, y'all, but that's the fact. But and the Mayans are the Americans, which is all the Israelites. All this stuff is the Israelites. But Harley tell Kanye West, your origin might be Jewish, something, but he said it's about how you act, how you think, how you treat others. I would do anything if you could please apologize to my people. Then he goes to say, Kanye responds to him and said, it's my people too. And then Harley says, okay, I love that. Then Harley comes back and says, I'm going to help you one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation. Wait, we got the other message so it don't be blocked out. I don't want it blocked out because this is what Kanye's saying. This man is saying on his thing. This is what he said. And Kanye is saying that this is what Kanye posted in his caption before he posted the message. He said, what should be obvious by now is that I was raised to stand for my truth regardless of the consequences. So I will say this again. I was mentally misdiagnosed and nearly drugged out of my mind to make me a managed, well-behaved celebrity. This some deep shit, y'all, right here. Again, he said, so I will say this again. I was mentally misdiagnosed and nearly drugged out of my mind to make me a manageable, well-behaved celebrity. If y'all ever heard of something called MK Ultra, go look into it. We ain't gonna go deep into it for the sake of time, but another day in a future episode, we'll go deep into MK Ultra. The brainwashing techniques and things that they do to brainwash and drug these celebrities. And the CIA, all this stuff. This stuff is real, y'all. It's real. So look up and just Google MK Ultra. It's a lot of information out there on it. While you got a smartphone, you never know when they're gonna cut the internet and all this stuff off. So Google MK Ultra. That's what he's talking about. I believe that's what he's talking about. But he said he was drugged. So I'm gonna read this message again. Harley tells this Jewish man tells Kanye West, I'm gonna help you one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use cuss words and everything that is discussed is based in fact and not some crazy stuff that dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Again, you see how they talking to this, how you know they don't respect you. You see how this is. Kanye is a 45-year-old man. Kyrie is 30-something years old. They talking to these men like kids. I'm telling you, even when you get to the highest scales, it show you the real plantation is in. And when you go against the grain, they're going to show their true colors. So I'm going to read the message one more time. He tell Kanye, I'm going to help you one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use cuss words. And everything that is discussed is based in fact, not some crazy stuff that dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Very, very, very condescending how you talking to him. The next one. Second option. Listen to this, y'all. Second option. He telling them this the first option. We can sit down and talk. But hey, don't talk about that dumb stuff your friend told you. But here's the second option. Just in case you don't want to do that. Here's what this is. This how good of these people is. Let's pay attention to them. All this stuff. This why these the bullies that they are. Second option. He says, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same. You see that shit? That's some crazy shit right there. Now, that's some crazy shit. He told Kanye West, this Jewish man, so he must have them institutionalized, and Kanye got them saved in his phone, I assume, so they know each other. He said, second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same. That's crazy. I tell you, these people controlling them celebrities. So you're going to get people like Shaq and them who don't want no smoke. You're going to get people like Shaq and them who not going to compromise themselves for you. They don't care about your kids getting killed in the streets. They don't care about you knowing your history. They don't care because they got millions of dollars in their mansion. And don't get me wrong, I want a mansion too. But you can have it and be righteous at the same time. And if you can't, at the end of the day, that shit ain't worth it then for your people in our history when these people is taking our land and we got to get that to get peace in our life. So yeah, that's what he told Kanye West. He told Kanye West, I'll have you institutionalized again. I'm going to read it one more time for y'all. Second option. No, let's read the whole context before we go off this page, because this, y'all don't see this shit crazy. These people crazy, and this is a Jew telling them this. Harley, I'm gonna help you one or a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use cuss words, and everything that is discussed is based in fact, and not some crazy stuff that some dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Second option, that's just good how I even said second option. I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you, and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same. That's crazy. He talking to this man like that. These people control the world, y'all. It's way more demonic. This world more demonic than what you think, and they control our access to our food. They control our access to our healthcare. They control our access to the banking. They control our access to the financial system, and they know we're waking up. I'm telling you guys, a lot of the masses of people. Take your time. We can take our time and break this information down. Y'all go watch my last 2 episodes of my other show on my channel, Fundamental Vibes. We dive into books proving this information. It's Fundamental Vibes with Imhotep the Great. It's on my channel, YouTube, Imhotep the Great. Y'all go watch these things. And we're going into the history so y'all can know what it is. But it's a different world, y'all. These people rule the world where smoke is fire, like I told y'all. Let me see. Yeah, this Harley again. Yeah, I was going to go deeper into a lot of stuff, but you know what I'm going to do? We're going to come back tomorrow and finish the rest of this live up tomorrow. But y'all go ahead. I'll say this is part 1 of Perspectives and Objectives with Imhotep the Great. I thank you guys for tuning in. Let me go ahead and see. I didn't get a chance to see the comments. Let me check them out. What's up, Auntie? Thank you for tapping in, baby. Let me see. That was dumbass child body look like a whole fool. Yes, unfortunately, that's what they be. They playing a role because they got to play that particular role to be able to keep the illusion going. This all an illusion, y'all, and it's falling. The illusion is falling. The truth is gonna come out. All this stuff they telling y'all things is global warming is no such thing. The earth is heating up because we have 2 suns in our universe. The earth is heating up because we have 2 suns. But yeah, it's crazy. We are the Hebrews. And he was standing 10 toes down. That's why they went back on him. That's why they got back down on him. Because it's buck breaking. It's economic castration. It's media lynching. Economic castration, media lynching. And reprimanding. They chastising these men, these grown men. So my question is, how we ever going to be free when you can't even speak the truth? How we ever going to have upward mobility when we can't even speak our truth, which is our actual true history? We have been enslaved for 530 years. We don't know where our tribes is. We don't know our native language. We have been massacred. They have killed our people. We have been in the 530-year Holocaust. Why are y'all the only people get to have a Holocaust? Why are y'all the only people get to have a Holocaust? No, y'all don't. I ain't the only ones. And y'all's lasted, 13, 14 years. Ours has been going on for 530 years. And let's also tell the truth, and this is a fact, and y'all can look this up, that the United States government hired the Nazis from Germany and brought them over here to help with a lot of programs in America. We can go deep on this, the eugenics, all these eugenics movement, Planned Parenthood, to keep our population down and rid our birth rates. Because if we didn't have abortion and stuff, you would know it's still a Negro continent. But you have so many millions of people gone because of abortion. But they fed it to our people in a certain way. And I'm not judging nobody who done went through that or that particular experience. But they doing that for a reason. Let me get him off my screen, y'all. I don't want him on my screen. But yeah, they judging people for that. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to know that. But let me see what we was at. All right here. But yeah, these people are definitely they very ill-willed and everything. But I'm gonna end the show for today. Right now, we're gonna do a part 2 and finish the rest of the show because I do got more of the show took going. So we're gonna do a part 2 of it, and we're gonna dive into more of just the whole situation with Kanye West, because that's very disturbing. That's very disturbing. I'm gonna have you institutionalized again. Kanye West has been saying this in his musical. We're gonna dive very deeper into that with Kanye. Again, this video will be posted on my YouTube channel, Imhotep the Great. Also, will be on here on Facebook. YouTube has blocked me a couple times. Like they deleted my last page back in April of 2020. And I think I'm SB, which is shadow banned over on YouTube. So I have to push my videos harder. So y'all go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content and more information. We're actually diving into books on my show, Fundamental Vibes. That's the flyer for that right here. This show right here called Perspective and Objectives with Imhotep the Great. So I thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. We're going to keep diving in. We're going to send peace, blessings, and love to our brothers and sisters and everybody fighting this struggle. At the end of the day, the truth is coming out. It has to come out, and it's going to come out. That's what it's going to be. You only can tell a lie for so long. We are the Hebrew people. Supreme peace, blessings, light, and harmony, family. I hope y'all have a good day.